Hey everybody, the Bonga and Colonel 112 are here, ready to announce the inductees into the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2015.
That's right, Panga. And of course, for this year, already it'll be our 100th game. So games 101 through 90 have already been inducted over the last 9 years.
And right now we finally reached like the 100 games overall, so let's start with the first one.
Yeah, so if anyone's wondering about what games won the tournament, we'll get to them in a moment. But for now, why don't we start off with the Colette in a 180s induction, which was a really violent game in her mind.
Alright, and that game is God of War 3 for the Sony PlayStation 3, so let's just show off some footage.
Hey everybody, Colette here with you presenting my choice for the Much Games Hall of Fame. The game I will be inducting is God of War 3, which y'all know that it is a continuation of the second game. And in the third installment is when Kratos decides to finally get his revenge on Zeus and kick some ass, and of course there's some nice puzzles. For example, like the music one is one of my favorites. I love this. Besides those parts that I love about the game, it's also a Greek, based on with the Greek mythology, with the Titans and the gods. So, and of course, as you see, I'm fighting right now. I am fighting one of my favorites, Hades. I don't know, it's something about. I love the graphics and everything. Honestly, I think actually Hades is everyone's favorite, one of their favorite battles. So, anyway, enjoy everyone, and take care.
Well, needless to say, she likes the violence, don't you think?
Yes, and I figured that she would have put in the Helios part of the fight, right? She loved ripping off the head.
Or like screaming off the top of the head, dying in these little jumping platforms.
Yes, I remember when she was doing that, wasn't she?
Alright, nevertheless, why don't you introduce us to the second inductee into the Hall of Fame?
Okay, so the second inductee into the Hall of Fame is actually a sequel, as the original was never actually inducted. However, it's probably the best one in this person's mind. So with Old World Gamer, here we have Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest.
Welcome everyone to the Much Games Hall of Fame. I'm the Old World Gamer, and the game I chose for the Hall of Fame is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. Released on November 20th, 1995 in North America, it became the second best-selling game of that year. It was only out for a little over a month. So, published by Nintendo and developed by Rare, this adventure platformer used a unique style of pre-rendered 3D graphics, which Nintendo and Rare dubbed as advanced computer modeling. Donkey Kong Country 2 centers its focus on Donkey Kong's sidekick from the original game, Diddy Kong. Donkey Kong is kidnapped by King K. Rool, and it's up to Diddy Kong, along with his girlfriend Dixie Kong, to make the rescue. And, well, as you can see along the way, they're going to run into quite a few bosses, new bosses, and they like to have a lot of fun with their boom boxes, and, well, she has a guitar. But the game includes a lot of the same features of Donkey Kong Country with some new additions. Not only have the 3D graphics been updated, but the bonus stages are different, and a lot of the barrels, if not all the barrels, are marked with a bee on them, with a little red background kind of thing. But yeah, coins were also added, also known as Creme Coins, as a type of currency to be used at Kong houses to save, and well, you usually get a free save the first time, but... And they added some new animal friends that could be found along the way to help, as well as some of the familiar faces from the original game. They ported the game over to Game Boy Advance in 2004, and I think that was a good move. And actually it was later released to the Virtual Console on the Wii U in 2015, in the spring, so there you go. This was probably my favorite from the series, as everything just seemed balanced. Both characters also felt much tighter in control, and their speed made the platforming that much more fun. The addition of Dixie Kong and her hair-twirling glides is one of my favorite features of the game and made bonus stages much more challenging to find. They also added in the large DK coins, which were always the hardest thing to find, but you always felt rewarded for completing the challenge. I first got to play this game shortly after Christmas in 2005 when I visited my cousin, and we pretty much played the game for the entire weekend we visited them. It was much harder than the first one, and there was plenty of frustrating times. This is the reason why I'm picking it for the Much Games Hall of Fame, along with the fact that to this day it's still fun to play and it's still challenging. So, that's my choice for the Much Games Hall of Fame. So as always, thank you all for watching. I'm the Old World Gamer, and I'll see you all next time.
So, very interesting way of putting for Old World Gamer why he enjoyed it and picked it for the Hall of Fame for 2015.
It's nice to know how he was very specific about certain things, but that's what made Donkey Kong Country 2 very awesome in the trilogy as far as I'm concerned.
Well, it was one of the best ones in the series. Don't ask me to LP it with you, but...
Probably not. Well, anyways, let's move on to the third game, which was selected by LP Grotus, and that game would be Dragon Age Origins, available on multiple consoles and PC, so let's check it out.
Hello everybody, LP Grotus here, and this is my pick of the Much Games Hall of Fame. I chose the game Dragon Age, Dragon Age Origins, for the PC to be exact. Why did I choose Dragon Age Origins? Well, it's a very good game. A game that I sunk at least 100 hours in the first time I played it. It's an action strategy RPG. It's a bit of combination with both. And it's a lot of fun. It's a BioWare game. I don't really remember when it was released, but I think it was 2008 or so. Even though it's called Dragon Age, it has a very small amount of dragons. If I remember correctly, it has a total of 3 big dragons and then a couple of dragon hatchlings and whatnot. But it's a game that has several endings. It have 6 different beginnings. You have 3 different races to choose between. Plenty of conversation options. A big supply of party members, with one being a dog. But you have different party members of various races. And you have a vast world to explore. However, the game is very corridor based, and what I mean by that is that most of the dungeons in the game are hallways which you just run forward to. A very small amount of branching passages, but still there's a lot of things to explore throughout the game, and there's a lot of side quests, and there's a lot to the main story. You also have the you don't really have a time limit throughout the game, but you do feel that time is not enough, as the threat is growing behind you, and the more you do throughout your quest, the more the planet or the world is in danger. So it's a very interesting game that way. It's actually one of the better games that BioWare has released, as far as I played anyway. So that is my pick of the Hall of Fame. And of course the footage is very old, it's from 2008 or so. Let's see, when was it from actually? Oh wait, 2010 is when I recorded this and uploaded this footage originally on my old YouTube channel, which is why it's technically in 480p. But yeah, it's a game that I definitely recommend to check out at least once, even though it's a long one. And do check out the PC version and not the console version, as the PC version is far by superior. But yeah, that's my pick for the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think Roders was talking to that guy long enough. The guy was so drunk out of it.
Yeah, I felt like I was growing like some kind of manhandle beard on the go.
Actually, I think you were. Good thing you shaved in between the videos.
Let's not forget Dragon Age Origins actually has fighting.
Yeah, it does.
But I've never finished it yet, so... Anyways, let's move on to the next inductee into the Much Games Hall of Fame. And this one is the third of a trilogy of JRPGs for the PlayStation 2.
Yes, so movies will actually present this one as it is a very long game from the very long series. Xenosaga Episode 3 also spreads Zarathustra.
Zarathustra. Sounds a lot like an adult film name. So anyways, movies, take it away.
Hey everybody, I Heart Movies here, bringing you my nomination video for the Much Games Guides Hall of Fame tournament for 2015. My game of choice will be Xenosaga Episode 3, also Sprach Zarathustra. The third game in the series. This one, in my opinion, is far and away the best in the series, with Episode 1 being second best and Episode 2, well, let's not speak of that. It's not that good. Now, real quick, apologies in advance. You probably heard that clicking in the beginning. That was my keyboard. My recording setup is not as good as it was before, so we kind of had to make do with it being a little bit but I mean, it'll work. And also for this, unfortunately, I really can't do any live gameplay. I would really like to, but I get really bad frame rates in gameplay on this, so I figure this part right now, it gives you a little insight on the story. We're actually at the very beginning of the game right now. Give you some insight on the story, and just as a little precursor, really. And why? Also, moving on, why I want this game to be in the Hall of Fame? It's a really lesser known game. The Xenosaga series as a whole is lesser known, which really sucks because the series as a whole is really solid. Well, besides Episode 2, but whatever. But yeah, I think with this game being in the Hall of Fame, or at least being nominated to be in the Hall of Fame, give it some more attention, let people see the Xenosaga series, maybe let them try it out if they're interested. Just give it some more limelight is all. Episode 3 pretty much takes the best components of Episodes 1 and 2 and improves upon them, and the whole game, top to bottom, is very solid. The story is the best part about it, though, because the story is ridiculous, especially some of the big character reveals as the game goes on, especially at the end. I'm not going to spoil it, obviously. But yeah, the gameplay is very tight, very solid. Like Episode 1, in a way. Each character has their own abilities to use and stuff like, well, sort of magic. Each has their own abilities to use. The characters are awesome. Very well written. Graphics are really good. It's overall a very solid PS2 game that went under the radar, unfortunately. And yeah, also, again, here's a little synopsis with the story, at least thus far, even though it just started. But to give you a little idea of what the game's about, the game's getting into some very deep concepts, and it's very fun overall, and I highly recommend it. And with that, guys, I'm trying to keep this video a little on the short end, so that takes care of my Much Games Guides Hall of Fame video. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.
Well, we could have actually had a bit of gameplay footage, but Movies explained why he couldn't in the video.
That was understandable. I mean, Xenosaga is definitely like a big game if you were able to play it. I remember a boss battle that I played lasted like 15 to 20 minutes, and that was early in the game. Keep that in mind.
Yes, and if you actually LP the game someday, then that's just a video right there.
I would probably be dead by the time I finished. So anyways, let's move on to Taju22's pick for the Much Games Hall of Fame.
Yes, so this game was, like God of War 3 itself, was actually featured in the Much Games Hall of Fame tournament. But it is the second game within the series again. You can see a common theme there. And it is, Banga, your turn to announce.
It will be Assassin's Creed 2, and that would, by the way, is one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games to play overall because it really changed how well that the game could work with. So, take it away, Taju.
Hello there, Much Gamers. Taju22 here, and this is Assassin's Creed 2, or at least a review of it. Anyway, let's get started. Now, this is the sequel to the original Assassin's Creed, and I don't want to get too far into the story, but it takes place at the height of the Renaissance in Italy during the 15th and early 16th century. And one of the things I like about this game right off the bat is it's an open world. I mean, you can just go I can't even say it. Go wherever you please. Oh my god, I can't even speak. Excuse me, I have a little bit of gas there. But no, you can go anywhere that you want, and the fact that you can, explore the world around you, that in and of itself is pretty good for what it is. But the main focus is to utilize, the main character's combat and stealth abilities, and use those abilities to not only kill, but to also find information on, in the case of the main character, for his quest for vengeance against those responsible for betraying his family. So, safe to say there's more than one way to skin a cat. Like, you can just do so much in the game. In fact, you don't even have to kill anybody. You can just, go however you please. Just make sure you don't get caught by the people that want to kill you, obviously. But still, I just think it's so cool that you can do that. And, let's see what else. And also you can take on side quests by interacting with the non-playable characters. And sometimes if you help them, depending on who you help sometimes, because you can't help everybody, because sometimes if you help one group of people, you have to be aware of the other group. You can't be a double agent, so in other words, you can't help everybody. You have to help whoever you can, but also make sure that you follow through on the job, because then, just the fact that it was able to do that was just incredible from what I saw, and the visuals were so good and so crisp. It was as if you really were there. It's so deep. I will say that. But yeah, Assassin's Creed, if you haven't played it or haven't even seen it, do check it out. Very good game. I can see why it's one of Much Games Guide's most voted games for the Hall of Fame. But aside from that, this is to June 22 on behalf of Much Games Guides saying goodbye and enjoy Assassin's Creed, but also enjoy your day. Have a good day, everybody.
Just to let you know, Ezio did not kill civilians, even though we have very conclusive proof that he did.
Yeah, Drew, shame on you. What did that civilian ever do to you?
To shame on you, 22. Well, anyways, let's move on to the next game, shall we?
Yes, so the next game is kind of a reboot from the original, and it is something that Samurai TX actually loves the most, Samurai TX 90, in case you don't know who I'm talking about.
Yes, well, there's only one Samurai TX 90 that I know of. But anyways, the game that he selected is probably one of my favorite Metroid games, but not the favorite. Mine would still have to go to Super Metroid. But this game is Metroid Zero Mission for the Nintendo Game Boy Advance. So let's see some footage, shall we?
Welcome, folks, to the Much Games Hall of Fame. I'm Samurai TX, and the game I will be picking is Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance, released in 2004, published by Nintendo. Reason why I'm picking this game? There's many reasons why I'm picking this game, so I will start with the beginning. It gives everybody a chance to experience what happened in Samus Aran's first mission. And not many really got to experience the 1986 game, which is probably true. And in their context, this game aged badly, and it was in need of a remake. So, enter Zero Mission, 18 years later. Well, then, what can I say? The graphics were amazing. The controls were very tolerable. Nothing really changed apart from, well, I can't say nothing changed, but the life bar changed, because in the very first game you start off with 30. Just wow. And there was a bit of glitches in the first game on the Nintendo in 1986. I won't go through all the details of how many glitches there were, but boy, was I a frustrated gamer as a child when I was playing this game. Like most the villains would get stuck in a door with you. So they at least fixed that problem in the Game Boy Advance remake. So the plaudits it got, it deserved it, and it was definitely a good thing that they made Fusion 2 years prior, because then it gave them the strength to remake the very first Metro game into Zero Mission. So that's the reason why I'm picking Metroid Zero Mission, because it made me relive my childhood again. And the Metroid games were very consistent back then, actually, from Super Metroid, Metroid 2, and then Metroid Fusion. So they were very consistent. Kind of a trivia, actually, that they were supposed to put Fusion on the Game Boy Color, and then they abandoned it to put it on Game Boy Advance. It was a good choice, because then it gave them the rights to do Zero Mission, like I said. So very good choice by Nintendo there. So it rewarded me with an experience I'll never forget in my childhood, and I'm very pleased to pick this game. That's all I can say about this game. I'm pretty sure many of you would agree with how great Zero Mission is. I know everyone else has their favorites, but I'll pick Zero Mission as one of my favorites. I can't say it's my proper favorite, but it deserves mention. Not many talk about it, but it deserves its mention. So there's my game for the Much Games Hall of Fame, and it's well deserving of a Hall of Fame induction. So this is Samurai TX signing out. Until then, thanks for listening.
Well, that's some nice little footage, and even getting caught in the end there, Samurai.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me there. Those enemies are pretty painful if you don't have, like, powerful weapons.
Yes, especially early on in the game.
Alright. So, anyways, moving on.
Yes, so this next game was chosen by Sephiroth1204, and he actually LP'd the game earlier this year.
Yes, in fact, it was so good that he wanted to showcase it in the Much Games Hall of Fame, and that game would be Katamari Damacy for the Sony PlayStation 2. Is that right?
Yes, it is correct.
Okay.
So here's some footage here, courtesy of Dovey.
Hello everybody, this is Sephiroth1204 for Much Games Guides. I'm going to be suggesting a game for the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2015, and that game is a game that is very dear to me, Katamari Damacy for the PlayStation 2, released in 2004, published and developed by Namco, before it was Namco Bandai, or Bandai Namco, depending on what time you live in. Katamari Damacy was the start of an amazing series, in my opinion. Series that was wacky, but also with a great gameplay style. You have to go around and roll up the world, because your father, the king of all cosmos, had a wild party and destroyed all the stars in the sky. And on this journey, you have varying locations in Japan, from small inside house locations to rolling up entire countries, practically. Along the way, you also have an amazing soundtrack, probably my favorite soundtrack in all of video games. It has just varying music styles, from like mamba to jazz to just all sorts of just everything different, and whether it's the voices are different, or it's just an amazing experience, and the graphic style of just the blocky characters, just interacting with the different objects, trying to roll them all together into one thing. As your Katamari ball grows larger and larger, you get to pick up bigger objects, and everything in the world interacts with each other, and it's the humor inherent in just how the layout is, and how everything just flows and rolls is just perfect, in my opinion. And this game isn't very long. It's quite easy to play, and it's just a very fun game if you enjoy wacky Japanese stuff, wacky styles, wacky music, wacky everything. This game is wacky, and that is really the best way to say it. And I believe that it is deserving in the spot in the Hall of Fame. And therefore, I present it.
Why didn't they just call it Katawaki Dawaki? This would have made more sense.
I know, that's just so wacky.
Yeah, so Japany and wacky.
I was waiting on the TV there just for those seizure robots from The Simpsons to appear.
Oh yeah, well, that's probably for like the next Katamari game, whatever that is. So anyways, we're going to move on to the next game in the Much Games Hall of Fame, and this one was selected by Zeo Lightning.
Yes. So Zeo Lightning, who had this game selected into the tournament, actually as long as last game in the tournament. I'm not trying to laugh at that one. But anyway, it's a game that he did love a lot of, and, well, when it came to editing it, he actually cut down quite significant from the original footage.
There was just so much he wanted to show, but we just didn't have enough time for it all.
No. So this is Mega Man 10. Let's see what the footage he has right now. Take it away, Zeo.
Alright, enjoy.
Hey there, peeps. Zeo Lightning here, and this is my inductee into the 2015 Much Games Hall of Fame, Mega Man 10. The original Mega Man, released in 1987, god damn that's old, has been a series long admired by its fans, steadily making its way all the way till now, after seeing a long hiatus in between 8 and 9, or Mega Man and Bass in 9. Developed by NT Creates and released in 2010, Mega Man 10 made its debut on the Virtual Console, PlayStation Network, and Xbox Live Arcade. On this specific journey, you're joined by Proto Man, who's actually not an unlockable DLC character, but a playable character from the start of the game. This was something different because before in Mega Man 9, in order to play Proto Man, you actually had to download him as DLC. But now he's playable. It sort of made me wish that this game had a co-op, even though I don't think it would necessarily work for an 8-bit Mega Man game. It's still a nice rebel idea that could have been built upon. Although, Proto Man's playstyle is a little bit different from Mega Man's. Anyway, there's not that much different in terms of Mega Man games, especially from 9. They still have the DLC add-ons. You can actually play as an additional character and unlock additional bosses that give you additional weapons in this game. There's a lot of challenges that you can do. There's online rankings, there's time attack, there's tons of stuff that was just in Mega Man 9. But you're getting a lot more you're getting a little bit more content out of this game. This game actually has 2 difficulty settings with its characters. So on the menu select, you can choose the characters Mega Man, Proto Man, and returning from Mega Man and Bass, you can play as Bass. Bass shooting in all directions and having his double jump, of course, as well as his dash. Proto Man retaining Mega Man's slide and the charge shot. And Mega Man being pretty much Mega Man 2 Mega Man and not having anything of interest. Being that one character. And again, it goes into the multiple character syndrome, where if you have multiple characters, usually the normal character is the one that tends to be the blandest. On the difficulty select, you can see here, there's easy, normal, and difficult. Easy, as you can guess, makes everything easy. There's almost always a Yasishi, this item here, at the end of a stage. It was a very important item in Mega Man 1, where it gave you a full energy refill and weapons refill for all the boss refights at the end of Wily 3 in the original Mega Man 1. In this game, it does the exact same function, but it's in front of nearly every boss door in the game, which makes it very easy. Normal is your standard difficulty with, the curve getting gradually more difficult as you go up. Hard is a different story. Hard mode in this game is extremely hard. It's probably the hardest Mega Man game to date, officially released by Capcom, that is. Hard mode in this game is harder than Mega Man 9 and Mega Man Bass combined. It's incredibly difficult, especially if you play as Proto Man. You'll be regretting that decision. Robot Masters of this game go as follow. There's Sheep Man, Solar Man, Blade Man, Chill Man, Nitro Man, Strike Man, Pump Man, and Commando Man. While not the most original Mega Man game in the series, it definitely holds a special place for the amount of content it brings and just its general difficulty. This is a game that can change to anyone's liking. You can either be really easy or really hard. Not many Mega Man games can say that they're pretty much open for everyone. In fact, this would be a perfect game to start anybody into the Mega Man series with. and it was the last one released. That's a good start. Mega Man 10 is a favorite among many fans, just because of the content they add and the difficulty it has. It doesn't do anything spectacular or unique, but it does what it does best. It polishes its gameplay to near perfect levels. And that's why I think this game belongs in the 2015 Hall of Fame.
Believe it or not, Mega Man 10 was the only game within that original series that I haven't finished yet, and I got pretty far. It just got, like as Zio said, it got pretty difficult around the end.
That's like most Mega Man games for me, except for 4, which I recently finished.
Yes, congratulations. It took you like several weeks, but you finally got the footage done. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Alright, so let's move on to the 9th game of the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2015.
So let's get in, while we're doing that one, let's get into the Hall of Fame tournament with this one. The finals in the Hall of Fame tournament actually featured Super Mario Galaxy 2 versus Yoshi's Story. Here's what the results ended up in. A tie. But first of all, the 99th game into the Much Games Hall of Fame will be this one right here, Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is actually picked by co-founder Ryan Bragg.
Yes, so instead of like having one winner, we decided to go with both winners. So enjoy Super Mario Galaxy 2, everyone.
Hey guys, Ryan here with my pick for the 2015 Much Games Hall of Fame, released in May 2010, Super Mario Galaxy 2. And let's just say Galaxy 2 is similar to Galaxy 1, with a focus on platforming based on and around 3D planets. All galaxies, obviously, with varying themes, sizes, landscapes, and obviously climates. Of course, we always get to use Mario, but later in the game Luigi is unlockable, but he is optional, you don't have to use him. We also have special abilities such as, of course, the spin jump, the spin attack, long jump, wall jumps, and multiple versions of somersaulting apparently. As in the original, the objective of the game is to travel through various galaxies, collect power cells, which are awarded by defeating, tasks, completing levels, completing tasks. And I use to gain access to more levels. The game retains most of the things you see in Galaxy 1, which is also on the Wii, such as the blue star pointer, which allows us to collect star bits, and we can use those for Hungry Illumas, shoot them at enemies, things like that. And also levels that restrict movement to a 2D plane. There's also balance balls and gravity reversing background arrows, so you can change the gravity. And things like that. Yoshi's of course in this game. So this game is a lot of fun. I really enjoy this game. It's one of my favorite games on the Wii actually. One of my favorite games in the Mario series. And I am actually proud to say that it's now in the Much Games Hall of Fame class of 2015. So hopefully you guys enjoy Mario Galaxy 2. You should totally pick it up on the Wii or on the Wii U. And thanks for watching. See ya.
To be honest, I was kind of hoping that Super Mario Galaxy 2 would win it all, because that was one of my favorite games as well.
Unfortunately, it didn't. It tied, but it is one of the games. It will be Let's Played by the person that commented on it, Ryan Bragg, and actually that is a clip from the Let's Play itself.
Yes, so hopefully you'll get a chance to enjoy it within the near future.
Yes. So the 100th game, which is also going to be Let's Played, came from the tournament finals, tying Super Mario Galaxy 2, being Yoshi's Story. The person who picked that is actually Jaxia herself.
She's one of our newest Much Games crew members, and that game is, like Cole said, Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64, so let's take it away.
Hey guys, and welcome to the Much Games Hall of Fame. This is Jaxia. The game I picked is Yoshi's Story for the N64. Published by Nintendo, Yoshi's Story was released in 1998 in North America. It was the sequel to Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island for the Super Nintendo. It was also the first game to actually include a voice for Yoshi. I chose this game because I honestly loved it growing up. I enjoyed the colorful levels, the unique looking graphics, and how the entire game was situated inside of a storybook. I loved playing as Yoshi, and I loved immersing myself in this game for hours on end. I suppose that's why Yoshi is my favorite Mario character to this day. I vividly remember the way that you had to fill out the fruit frame, eat the lucky fruits, and how the music was connected to the state of Yoshi's health and happiness. One of my favorite elements was Yoshi becoming super happy, and in turn, the music transformed to represent this euphoric state. I also remember being extremely disturbed by the game over scene. It really made you feel bad for letting your Yoshi die. Sure, overall it was a pretty easy game and the reviews on it were rather mixed, but as a kid it was one of the ones I remembered, and that's all that matters to me. I'm very proud of it being inducted into the Much Games Hall of Fame.
And there you have it. That's the official class of the Much Games Hall of Fame for 2015. In my opinion, this is a star-studded group of games, and I can't wait for those to be Let's Played or featured in the future.
Yes. So, the Much Games Hall of Fame tournament has featured, or not tournament itself, but the Hall of Fame itself has featured such games as Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past for Zelda games, Final Fantasy VII, and 10, 12 for Final Fantasy games, along with some other good games. You want to mention any
Of course, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, even though I'm not a Sonic fan, even I will admit that's a well-acclaimed title. Resident Evil games, Super Metroid, Sly Cooper, Castlevania, the list goes on of like great titles, and now this class of 2015 only just adds to it.
Yes. So the tournament next year will feature, well, pretty much 66 more games, which one will be down, but it will not be as big as what this one is, I'd say.
Yeah, it could possibly be bigger, like with more games being now eligible for the Hall of Fame. It's just going to make the list a lot more interesting.
Yes, I mean, there are some games, I could name one, which I probably shouldn't even mention that Skyward Sword is available, but it probably won't be in the tournament. Along with, I do believe there might be a Final Fantasy game involved next year, too.
Yeah, only time will tell if that will actually be nominated.
Yes. But for Cole and Baga, we're signing off, saying thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned for more videos from all of us.
Yep, and thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be seeing you next time.
Peace out.